Today I want to talk about broadcasting Big and Beasty into soybean, food plots, or commercial ag fields. This is something that we do a lot each year. Sometime around the middle of July through the middle of August is the perfect time frame for this. There are always thin spots on a property that has a lot of white-tailed deer, usually on the edges of the fields, back in the corners. Sometimes entire food plots will get wiped out during the summer by the deer, or possibly you have a drought year and the stuff that you planted in the spring, which is typically when you'd plant your soybeans, it just doesn't grow very well. So you're coming into the fall and you're thinking, what can I do to make these locations better for attracting and holding deer, bringing deer within bow range of my tree stand? This is the perfect way to do that. I've done it a lot here on the farm and we've had great success with it. You can go through with a hand broadcaster and you can walk right through the beans and you can spread the Big and Beasty in about a 5 to 6 pounds per acre rate, which is a little bit higher than what you would spread if you're going into tilled soil. Your germination rate is going to be a little bit lower because you're putting the seed on top of the ground and you're not pressing it into the dirt. So the seed to soil contact isn't as good. You're just not going to get as good a germination by broadcasting it into beans. But you can get a good enough germination to make it worth doing. Look for those areas where the beans are a little bit more browsed or the soil is a little bit more exposed, because the Big and Beasty does need sunlight. So if you plant it into a really thick, healthy, tall stand of soybeans, you're not going to get very much of the Big and Beasty to come up in those areas. But you go around the edges of the fields, or like I said, into food plots that have been browsed heavily or areas that have been droughted out hard, you can get almost a full stand of Big and Beasty by the time the hunting season comes. Ideally, you would plant it before a rain, because once again, you don't have the option of drilling it in or pressing it into the ground, so it's going to have to get kind of pounded in by the rains that come. And usually sometime in the middle of August, towards the end of August, we'll get those late summer rains. This is the ideal time to be hand broadcasting the Big and Beasty into beans. It's nice if you can fertilize it, because this plant does do best with some nitrogen. Sometimes that's possible. We've done it before with the hand broadcast seeders. You're not going to be able to drive through there with a tractor probably and spread fertilizer, because you don't want to destroy the beans that are already there. You want to have sort of a two-course meal for the deer. You want the beans that are there to continue to attract the deer and to feed them through the winter. Then you want your Big and Beasty to do the same thing. So you don't want to destroy the beans, you just want to work with them. So like I've said, we've done this a bunch on our farm. We've had great success with it. So get out there and take advantage of this planting window that we've got now for the next month or so. And well, not even that. We've got about 3 weeks left now until the first part of September, when it's starting to get a little bit too late. Then you want to switch over to something else, more like the autumn quick plot for your plantings. Big and Beasty does a great job of feeding deer all through the fall and winter. So the more of it you can get on your farm, the better.